All right. We're over here talking about getting our money correct because this thing it wasn't working using it the way I normally do it. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is monetary habits, and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't get out to people. So I'm going to have to cut this out. Let's see. All right. I've got to go ahead and get rid of that other one so it doesn't. What? What I'm trying to do. Good Lord. I'm trying to find the stream that I started on, and I'm trying to terminate it so it doesn't go live because nobody's going to see anything. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. So let's go ahead and make sure. There we go. The YouTubes. All right. So let's talk about money. We're going to talk about getting our money together in 2020. One of the things that you guys have got to do, and it starts early. How many people had mom and dad and sit them down and explain how money works? I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. How many of you put that in the comments? Put a a one if mom and dad taught you about money, and put a two if they didn't. And no one really sits down and explains this. All right. My job at the bank at 16 taught me about money. All right. None explain how to make money nor handle money. All right. So, one of the things that we got to look at, and one of the things we got to take to heart, is everybody needs a financial education. Everyone needs a financial education. And this is going to be incumbent upon you to go out and get your financial education. I mean, this is what turned it all around for me. And with this pre-business prep course, it's going to teach you how to get your finances in order, because you go out and start $1 million business with bad financial habits. Guess what? Now you have $1 million to mess up. You have $1 million to misappropriate. And this is a big problem because, my Facebook page, I put on there that most of America needs to pay cash for a car. And then I had some people come in here and say most of America can't pay for a car. They can pay cash for a car. They can't pay cash for a car they want, but they can pay cash for the car they need and use. $2,000 and $10,000 car is where most of America needs to be, a point A to point B car, because you shouldn't be doing luxury cars unless you have a luxury income. And I'm talking about 250K or more. Just because the bank says we're going to give you a loan because you have a good enough FICO score and you could scratch out that payment. I just heard the story of someone that had to borrow some money from someone because they couldn't pay their car note. And this person has no kids. This person is a retired military person, and they just literally ran out of money at the age of 42. 42 years old and still doesn't understand how money works, doesn't understand how the game works, and it was for a car payment. One of the things is, I'm not in the habit of loaning money. It's just something that I don't do because, no one has come to me for money in really years. I just, my circle is pretty well healed. So I don't have to worry about that. But one of the things that we all need to understand, no, 250K gross. I mean, you're gonna bring home almost 175,000, 180. Because once again, I say this: if you make six figures, you don't need a car note. Even if you finance a car, you should be able to pay that sucker off in a year or less. Because this is one of the lessons that I learned. Because when I was in that boarding house, I had one job to pay the bills, and I had another job to get ahead. And then I went to T-Mobile, and I thought I was going to become a salesman and make all this money. So I quit my other job. But one of the things that you're going to learn, and let's see, we're going to go here. One of the things you're going to learn in this course, and I'm going to be adding training to it all week. And there's going to be a lot of stuff in here to help you. I'm going to tell you what your mama, your daddy, your grandfather, the people who raised you that never told you. Because, we have a lot of people out here in bad situations financially because I'm on ClickFunnels. I'm going to run everything through ClickFunnels because I learned a very important lesson with Hustlers Kung Fu life skills. Buying cash cards is the best thing to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because what you will do is you'll put yourself in the position to win. And this is one of the things, because when you look at the average person, 53 million Americans are in low wage jobs. 53 million Americans. One of the things that I'm going to do starting next week is I'm going to get into the LLC course. Like once I finish this course, should be Sunday. Then I'm going to start on, essentially a whole bunch of training is coming. We're going to get into a lot of training because, back to the money lessons. Right now, we got people out here who don't have a financial literacy and financial education. And one of the things that I learned because I was exposed to people like take the LLC thing. I was at business environments, and one of the other salesmen pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I saw the checks. Why is the check in your name? It should be in an LLC." And he sat down and schooled me on the LLC game for about 2 hours. So one of the things that I feel that people like, someone just asked me an investing question, and I'm going to talk about investing on the personal finance channel. Investing is a long-term prospect. When you think about putting away money for investing, you need to start thinking about putting money away for the next 20, 30 years. And people like will say, I have $1,000. You could put that $1,000 in anything, but it ain't gonna really amount to anything. You see, the investing takes a consistent habit of doing certain financial practices perpetually. This is one of the things that needs to happen. You need to be on your financial practices, because this is why the how the prep course is so important, because the prep course is going to help you with your whole life. Because many people just have bad financial habits, and here's the thing: you can have a great credit score, and you can have good credit, and you can still have bad financial habits. I'm going to tell you one of the first bad financial habits: buying a new car. I bought a few new cars, but I paid cash for them. But once again, when you look at the rapid depreciation of a new car, it's just not a place to put a lot of money if you were barely making it. Like, you see people out here with all kinds of, you know, like right now, people are struggling to pay their car notes. You know, we're going to talk about, like, yeah, I do have a cold, but I'm still here giving y'all the game that nobody else is going to give y'all. One of the things that you have to understand is financial habits are just those habits. And you get your financial habits are pretty much created when your eating habits, um, like you get your eating habits from your childhood. So toes and Funyuns and pudding and stuff. And this goes on, you'll be doing that the rest of your life. So one of the things that one of the things that people don't understand is, like, I learned when I at business environments when I was getting money, and I learned how to stack money. And stack money, you don't just save money to save money. Like, if you have an emergency account, or you have like money set aside for an emergency, that's one thing. That's not a lot. I mean, well, for some people, that could be a lot of money. But 6 months to a year's expenses is just good practice to have in the bank, a money market account. But anything above and beyond that needs to go into a long-term investment. And one of the issues is that we're not taught to think long term. No one ever brings this up, because, like, if someone sat you down when you were 18 and said, hey, if you come up with $10,000 this year and put it into this account, that lump sum, and you never had any more money, you have $500,000 by the time you're ready to retire, thanks to compound interest. And no one ever has these conversations with the people who need to hear them the most, because once again, it's just go out, live your life, do what you're doing. But no one ever says that this is what can happen to you, because, a lot of people are not in a position to invest money. They're just not in a position or a mentality to invest money. Like I invest money in companies. That's what I've been doing, and that's a lot of where my holdings are. But one of the things we'll talk about in the How to Start a Business course, because this is the prep course on how to start a business. Uh, you know, uh, I'm going to look at today is Tuesday, so we will see um, how it's going to go. But one of the things is you guys have got to understand the power of money. Like my personal finance channel, the video that's doing the best on there is in personal finance for couples because no one sits there and is like, hey, when you get married, if you live on one income and you take the other income for investments, y'all are going to be so much better off. No one has these conversations with people. When you're going to get a house, it's like, okay, or even car loans. Like the number of people who go out and get these car loans where there's two incomes on the credit app, that is just the craziest thing. And, like earlier I asked, did anyone ever sit you down and like when my daughter, I got her first credit card, I actually explained some stuff to her. It's like, this is how credit works. And, a lot of her friends didn't get that conversation. So, what this course is going to do, all right, let's see. I was told by my father-in-law to put money in the bank. Raking profit, financial education is key. Black user, I became their teacher about finances now. Short change, I changed my habits in 2016 when my son had more in his piggy bank than I had net worth. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. I just finished paying off my car. I won't be getting the car note ever again. Because, see, this is the thing. And, you guys can Google this. If you buy 4 to 7 cars in your lifetime, that can delay retirement or actually eradicate retirement. You know, no one explains this stuff to people in simple, easy to understand terms. Richard Moore, true, no need for car notes of six-figure land. I am stunned by the number of people who make six figures who have car notes. Don't visit strip clubs. You could blow 300 easy. I've seen people blow thousands of dollars in a strip club. Oh, Robbie Rob, it's already working because essentially observing stuff. If someone has 500 to lose while going broke, what would be a good thing to put the money in? When you're thinking about putting money away for investments, observing stuff, you should think about putting a lot of money into that investment. Like if you had 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 you could throw into an annuity or something, that would be one thing. But 500 to 1,000, 1,500 one-time investment, that's not really going to do much for your future. Kia, leasing a car. I would only lease a car in the name of my business because it's a tax write-off. Right there, that's an advantage you can. All right. Hopefully, we are still on. I don't know. YouTube be tripping tonight. right. J for films, don't get a car loan. Get a car you can pay cash for. And you want to turn your video business into a business that will help you. William Johnson, investing long term trading is active and result in substantial gains or losses in a short time frame. Very much so. It's best to keep your debt to income ratio under 25%. Ideally, you won't have a debt to income ratio. You have no debt whatsoever, ideally. Eric Williams, they don't think they're really one paycheck away from homelessness, so they get a car when they only make it $28,000 a year. Yeah, that's one of the things that is rough. Robbie Rob, from what I've seen, buying a new car rarely makes sense. In the case it does, the car is usually some expensive. Yeah, like certain cars appreciate. Short change. If you don't have at least 20K free and clear and no debt, why are you worrying about investing? And this is something else that I'm going to talk about because a lot of people here's the language. Investing is something you should do. Investing is cool. Here, like Money Magazine, Kiplinger's, what to do with $1,000. They will have articles on that. But I want you guys to look at the long-term impact. So you would be better off, if you got $1,000, you'd be better off investing $100 a month for 10 years than putting $1,000 into something. Thanks for the super chat. Opulence is excess. You are a wealth of knowledge from the old guard. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Once again, one of the things that people have got to do is get on their money game. Alrighty. Let's see. We got. Thank you, Bunny. LJ, people live for the weekend. Absolutely. Observing stuff. I save money out of habit because I didn't get a lot of it growing up, and my main reason for it is emergencies. I'm not sure what else to do with it. Okay. Well, at least you're saving money, putting money away. BK Rock disagreed from about business habits. My foundation was established by my family, and they surprisingly set my business habits. Example, all the family held on cars for long times a period past paying them off. Short change. You can make minimum wage and still save up 10K. It's all about paying yourself first. Yeah, because if you got a low income job, you just can't ball out. You can't do certain things. And a lot of people don't understand that. Most people don't invest because they don't have the money to invest. Even if they did, they can afford to wait long term. Because no one sits down and explains to you. Because I didn't get this conversation. This is something that I figured out many years after. If someone sat me down at age 22 and said, look, this is the deal. You need to remain debt free. You don't need to be buying a new car. If you get credit cards, don't go crazy. Don't, only use 10% of your credit limit and pay these cards off in full at the end of the month. I got my first credit cards. I was an E4 in the military. I remember Citibank gave me a $1,500 limit, and First Union gave me a $1,500 limit. And within a matter of weeks, they were both maxed out. I was going to Riches at the time, which is the department store, getting clothes. I didn't do anything decent with that money. Ron B. Miss Atlanta B. Everyday life. I want to learn how to make money on my own, whether that's open up on an employer for a paycheck. I know you say service opportunities. How you get strangers to trust me? This is how you get strangers to trust you. Just show up. I'm going to tell you a story. I was selling brand new beds, and I've isolated two items that I could advertise on Craigslist and people would buy. And I would essentially just it's like, hey, I want that bed, and I would show up their house with the bed, and they would pay me. It was just that simple. Getting money out of people when you have something that they want is easy. So the trust thing, like, if you wanted to have immediate trust, sell a physical good. Trust, is just be trustworthy. All right, Miss Richardson, school her, school her. A home cleaning business, a service business. There are several people who've turned cleaning service into multi-million dollar businesses. What about real estate? Oh, there is no more promo codes for Hustle's life skills. Getting into trades is absolutely worth it. It's still up. Deserving. Yeah, once you get an investment that you like and understand, never invest money in something you don't understand. Don't do that. Make sure you understand the investment and then continue. Because see, investing is money for your next life. It's not money for now. Opulence is excellence. The education is seriously needed. I used to 5 checking account system, set my girlfriend up with the game. She told me she's never had this much money in one time in her life, same income. That's the power of this prep course. Because the thing is, your money is the biggest wealth building tool you have. And we are spinning again. And many people abuse that wealth building tool. So one of the things is, the 5 checking account system, which is in this course, is going to teach you how to set up your businesses. Because here's the thing, and this is something I consistently saw in the storage auction business. Business owners would mess up their money because they allowed their personal money habits to invade that business. So this is why I say, this is why the prep course is so needed, is mess it up. Good Lord. Nephew hustle. I didn't respect money. Now I'm paying for it. Here's the thing. You're going to manage your money or your money's going to manage you. There is no middle ground with this. So when you're managing your money, you have the things that you need. You're set for emergencies. When your money is managing you, let me tell you about a time in my life when money was managing me. They knew me well at the pawn shop because I would come in every few weeks with my CDs and DVDs and pawn my collection so I could pay bill. Then when I got my money was automatically short because I had the fees of going back to the pawn shop. Yolanda Williams, if you have the ability to get on the computer, you have the ability to make money. There ain't no excuse. Finance gurus say you shouldn't buy a luxury car unless you have $1 million cash. First, I agree. I don't think you need $1 million, but you need to be about 250 with no debt. MP, if you don't have money to invest, then it means you don't have anything saved either. Savings are prerequisite to investing. It has to be a habit. Absolutely. See, and this is something else. Before you try to invest, you should be debt free. If you got business debt for your business, that's cool, but you should have no personal debt outside of a mortgage. Black Caesar, shake him, talk him out of it. Talk him out of it. What do you think about Jan Pro? I think if you're gonna start a clean business, you can go ahead and start your own one. Janet King, Janet Pro, they're gonna take 13, 15% off the top. And once you start making money, that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot off of your net income. Now, if you hustle, if you live in the South, the oil refinery and chemical plants can help you stack bread. Low level entry. Also, I got a video up here about going to the oil fields. LJ, I say 30% of my income and forced me to make more money. Cool. A friend convinced me to invest in his business and I never fully understood, but I threw a few thousand at it. Much better to understand what I'm investing in. I'll be lucky to get my money back. You never invest in something that you don't understand. Like, I was one of the people that was very vocal about not buying Bitcoin. And I had people come after me. But guess who was right? And this is something else I saw with all my friends who were making good coin. They were not interested in Bitcoin. It was not needed. And Bitcoin was like the poor man's come up. I mean, they built these camps. They started talking about the future. Jacktown Josh, what do you think about the hot dog cart? What do you think about hot dog cart? One of the things is it isn't what I think about a certain business model. It's what you think about the business model because it's going to be you running that business. And if a hot dog cart is floats your fancy, by all means, do a hot dog cart. Muhammad Abdul had a hot dog cart for the longest. Because one of the things is because it's going to be more structured during the course, how to manage. I don't know. I've reached out to Abdul and he hasn't gotten back to me, so hopefully everything's okay. But I fear that he maybe had a relapse. But one of the things with financial education, it starts with personal responsibility. I want to start a holding company like Berkshire Hathaway. Does your course follow the same path? Absolutely. You know, let's switch it up a little bit. Many people have reported back in the last stream that when they went to the bank to try to set up their 5 checking accounts, the bank flipped out. The person who was there, to see, essentially, I cover all this in the course, but in the beginning, you will be paying fees on those additional accounts because you don't have enough money in there. But as you stack money in there, it gets to the point where every bank has a limit where if you keep X amount of dollars in that account, there are no fees. And eventually you'll get to that limit. if you start managing money correctly. Because as someone just said, he put his girlfriend on the game, and this is the most money she's ever had in her life. See, money segmentation is very, very important. Many people don't segment their money. Like, I went ahead and showed you guys all of the stuff that Amazon was doing and all the LLCs they have. Because one of the things I'm giving you the game that no one else gives you, because essentially the five checking account is from my business. So you start running your personal finances like a business, you'll start getting the results like a business. You will start to have money all of the time. I want you to think what it would be like with your life that you're never ever broke again. You always have money. All right, Black Steve, that's a good thing. Get that car paid off. Get it out your life. Explode. I'm a new member. I want to start building wealth. Watch videos. I mean, you know, I'm giving you the game that no one else gives you, because when you go in there to sell your five checking accounts and the bank flips out, because people like people flip out over small stuff. Like I think your checking account fees would be $7 up to $15 per account. So if you got five checking accounts, you're looking at $70 a month. Which, if you're making minimum wage, it sounds like a lot. But the thing is, as you build these accounts, that's going to go away. Also, here's a tip. If you are a veteran, Chase will open up as many bank accounts for you as you want for free. That's your tip right there. Pumping numbers, with the exception of online banks, no minimum fees. Yeah, because see, once you start to be mindful of your money, once you begin to believe.
Hi, I'm Coffee Break, and welcome to Fan Mail Friday. I can't be Friday. Maybe this makes up for all the fake gurus that I missed. But I just want to cover somebody's fan mail they sent me.
Hold on
Just
a
answer a
second.
question that I got that was sincere. So I want to answer it sincerely. This was from actually, I had an email from a fake guru, believe it or not.
All right. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. That was crazy. Okay. Really? All right, Richard Moore. Engineer life skill. Your bank accused you of money laundering? Really? Good Lord. Like I said, I'm giving you a game that no one else gives you. Good Lord, Honey Bunny, it's been interesting. Opulence is excellent. I agree with you. I tell fellow and future entrepreneurs, the first business you ever learn to run successfully is your personal life. Their eyes light up. Yeah, because see, one of the things that people don't understand is income. And once you begin to understand these principles of segmenting your money, you will you will see drastic change in the money in your pockets. It's all about discipline and being mindful of your money. Good Lord. That's crazy. But once again, this is the only way out. If, as a person who came from impoverished circumstances, absolutely, especially messing around with American Express, If you bank with them, they know how much money you have. That's going because they will look at that information in regards to your credit accounts. Benny, don't worry about if your business has um, competition. Don't worry about that all at all. Segmenting money means you can't pretend you're not broke. That's one of the things. But once you get on your money game, once you begin to do certain things, you're going to see that a peace will come over you. I mean, everybody here who's been broke this year, put a one in the comments. You got to the end of you got to the end of your money before the month was over. You had no money. Go ahead and put the one in there. All right. All right. We got some people putting ones there. Okay. Now I want you to understand this concept I call perpetual money. Now, many of you experienced that situation where you just ran out of money and you were broke until you got paid again. I want you to close your eyes and imagine always having money. I have not been broke since 2000. I've not been broke since 2000. I've always had money in my pockets or access to money since 2000. And once this becomes a habit of putting money away and manage your money better, you will be afraid to be broke. You will get paranoid because see, this is the game. Once you start stacking money and you get to a certain amount, it becomes fun. You want to throw more money in there because now you got a stack and you just don't want to spend it. All right, Black Caesar. Yeah, I don't even push the credit course because I'm pushing people to make more money. I'm pushing people to increase their incomes because this is what the prep course is about: how to manage your money, how to segment your money, and also how to become financial free. Because see, here's the thing: many people win the lottery are broke 5 years after winning the lottery, and these people get millions of dollars. I'm gonna say it again. Even if you're a millionaire, you need a budget. I really wish I can get my hands on all these NFL, NBA rookies because I'm like, last year you were sleeping in a dorm with a roommate. Now you got 5 houses with 5 mortgages and 6 cars with car payments. That's insanity. As Herm Edwards said, you don't need the Mr. T starter chain. They cracked me up with that. But going through the course and you do the things that you need to do, you will never be broke again. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about it. If you're out and you see something you want, you don't have to wait to payday. You can just go ahead and get it if you need it. I want you to think about having that kind of life. Broke is a mindset and money and management problem more than it is an income problem. Yeah, pretty much. Roger Case, I'm here, Bird family. Curses, Glendon, real talk. We know how to make money. We need to learn how to hold money. Mail. That's one of the things that I'm going to get into. These rookies have Dominic Wilkins syndrome. I mean, I'm going to tell you about low income. I used to work in this medical office as a lab technician, and we had this girl who was a nurse assistant. And they don't make a lot of money. This girl had a paid off car. Her father taught her how to save money at a very early age. When she got her first job, her dad said, "You need to save all your money. We got the rent, we got food," and she started saving all of her money. And this is a habit she kept on. She's like, whenever I need a new car, I just go pay cash. This chick had probably $120,000 in the bank at any one time. She was just a nurse, certified nurse anesthetist. I mean, a certified nurse assistant. And she said when she was living with her parents, she just saved all her money. Soaking Light, how do I sign up? Just go to heavywallet.org. I mean, I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to want money, to need money, to be thinking of doing something outrageous for money. All right, honey bunny. Because, see, one of the biggest things you can do is teach your kids about money and have open and frank talks about money. Pumping numbers. It took me 3 years. It wasn't an overnight thing. And let's talk about this millionaire thing, because everyone's talking about being a millionaire. They bring it up on Dave Ramsey. You could be a millionaire when you're old. If you manage your money correctly and get cash flow, you don't have to become a millionaire to have a very good life. 250K a year will set up most people with ordinary habits, no crack habit or something. 250, most folks would be balling out on that. Many folks would be balling out on that. But once again, we will be taking you through this course, how to set up money. I don't know anything about Amazon FBA. I don't do Amazon FBA. I'm not going to speak about it. It's typically the dads preach who save your money. Pretty much. Most folks will have completely different lives with an extra $500 a month. And that would be the half of America that makes $33,000 a year. G3 balling. So what do you do to change your mindset to accumulate wealth long term? Think service. Think how many people can you serve? When you change up the game to thinking about people that you can serve, it's not about you. The more people that you serve, the more money that you will make. So once again, we're going to get into mindset, but right now I'm giving you strategies and tactics, things that you can do with your money. Because we're going to get into a whole lot of training. And one of the reasons I'm doing this prep course is I've seen so many people take online courses and be unsuccessful. And a lot of it is the person isn't set up to start a business. I was watching this one channel with this dude. He was like, it was desperate. He spent his last money on this course. Then he quit his job. I'm like, that's just stupid. He got gassed up on the sales pitch. I'm not going to urge you to quit your job. I'm going to urge you to keep your job, and I'm going to urge you to start a business on the side to make more money. That's what I'm going to push you to do. I'm not going to tell you, the only time you quit your job is when your job interferes with your business. That's the only time you quit your job. That's it. And you got people out here, give your boss the middle finger. No. What you will do once you start running your own business, you will become so efficient with your job. You will figure out a way to go in there and do just enough to keep your job and put more of your energy into your business. That's what you'll be doing. right, Eric Youngblood. Yep, because for those of you who are going to start your LLCs, regardless, if you start in December, they're going to hit you up for administration fees um, shortly after. All right, Benny. So once again, we're going to develop new money mindsets. I mean, all right. Okay. One of the things that happened to me once I got the game, once I learned how to start businesses, is, I never made $1 million in the storage auction business. But, the power of YouTube and the power of online media and the power of the internet business and a few 3 storage auction shows. I mean, that's one of the things that pushed me over the edge. Now, he went back to his job. He was able to get his job back. But once again, we're not going to be quitting jobs. Look, honestly, you're going to work harder than you ever worked in your life. This is the thing you're going to have to do. You're going to have to put in work. When I was in the storage auction business, I worked 6 to 7 days a week. The business just required it because there was always this race to get these units cleaned out because they only gave you $2 or $3. Thank you, Paul, for $2 super chat. So one of the things that we're going to get into is money management, money segmentation. Because first of all, if you don't manage the money that you're currently making right now to the best of your ability, you're not going to manage more money better. It's not going to happen. I mean, essentially, I disagree with a lot of, because this is in the course. I think, what you should pay for housing should be 10% of your income. I pay 4% of my income for this place. And the goal is to make more money and not to have a debt to ratio. Because many people treat that as gospel, as they got to do it. That's a choice that you make to do that. You don't have to do that. So I want you to think about your life. You got a nice, decent car outside that's paid off. You have no credit card debt. You got money in the bank. For many people, that's retirement, to be living like that. So this is where we're going to get people. And once we do the business prep course, then we're going to get into, I'm probably going to do a service business course because there are many people out there that don't know what they want to do when they grow up. And the service businesses can be for anybody because that could be your starter business to up your income so you could jump off into some other stuff like, Amazon FBA, Shopify drop shipping. These are very dynamic businesses that change frequently. What worked for your Shopify store in 2016 does not work for it in 2019. But you could start a consistent business like the guy, I was talking to the guy who painted my house. He does $200K a year. He's been painting for 20 years. He gets his check, takes it home to his wife. She puts it in the account. She manages the money. Kyle, if you make enough money, your housing could be 1% of your income. Get rid of these limited mindsets. I mean, you can do it if you get rid of these limited mindsets. Because, the way that you came and pushed back on me, like, you don't think you can make more money. That's on you, bro. And I used to be like you. And then when I did that deal where I had $150,000 in the bank, I had another big check coming, I had a car outside that was paid off, I started living. So you don't live your life with limitations, and that should be a goal. It's like, all right, I want to bring my living expenses to where it takes 10% of my income. That's housing, that's food, that's everything. So what's going to happen? You're going to have to make more money. You're going to have to make more money. And when you get in the cycle of making more money, everything changes. Everything. Richard Moore, No Limit Soldier. Can we say, oh, Master P? Eric Young, I really have no interest in the online business. It bores me, and I just don't want to keep with all the programming, SEO. You're one of the few that talk service-based businesses. Because I understand there are many people like you who don't want an online business. There are many people out here in the world who have simple service businesses who are millionaires. You gonna internal bliss? Just sit down and write out what you want to do and create a roadmap. BK Pro, you need upfront money to get into the game of drop shipping. You need upfront money to get in Amazon FBA. Let's talk about product goods. Whenever you're getting into selling physical products, you're going to need startup capital. And I'm going to tell you, if you're going to do Amazon FBA, you need about 25K to get started in Amazon FBA to have a fighting chance. Feeling ill, making money is playing offense, saving money is playing defense. A good offense will kill a good defense any day. Your mind changes permanently when you have that first six-figure check lands in your checking account. It removes all doubt. Absolutely. But once again, we got to start with the basics, because there's a reason that 75 million people make $33,000 or less a year. They don't have this information. Like all of you who've gone ahead and got the 5 checking account blueprint, and you went to the bank, and the bank's freaked out on you like you were doing something criminal. They were not used to normal, regular people coming in and setting that up. They weren't used to it. And this is going to be life-changing. And I think once you get into this, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be amazing what's going to happen. Because once you get here, your mental's going to change. Your mental's going to change, and your confidence is going to go up. Because this is something that was funny. Once I started making money, and I had money in the bank, had money on me, had money in my checking account, I had credit on my credit cards, my confidence went through the roof. I was walking in clients' offices being myself, like, hey, how you doing? You look better than $100 new bill. That's a nice outfit. Flirting my ass off with chicks. I remember this one, I remember going into this office to sell some office furniture, and the receptionist, she was stunning. And I just walked in, and everything I was thinking came out of my mouth. I mean, some of that stuff was pretty rowdy. I was like, good Lord, you got a nice rack. That came out my mouth, right? And she just giggled, and we ended up going out. because I just came in there with so much confidence, energy, and enthusiasm. And one of the things that's going to happen is as you get money, your confidence is going to your confidence is going to grow. Because I want you to think about where I was. I was living in the boarding house with crackheads, and I went from that in just literally a year to working in business environments because my mental changed. My mental changed. Miss Delaney, Labali, Everyday Life. You start with $5. You take $5 and you set $5 a week. And then when that becomes super easy, then you raise it to 10. Because see, there, this is one of the reasons that so many people come online and fail. They try to do too much too quick that they're not prepared for. You start with $5 a week, then you because the power is in the habit. And then you get up to $25 a week and you just consistently scale up. Jessel, I don't know. I don't know the particulars. I don't know how much it costs you to live. I don't know. I mean, one of the things that we're going to talk about in this, probably the next course is ways to start businesses cheaply. I started this business for $285,000, $285, and I did not reinvest until 2 years later. I just took 2,200 out at once. Another person had to come from the back to verify. I want to put money under my mattress these days. Well, people are just not used to people handling cash. Because last car I was going to buy, I was going to take the cash out the bank and go to the dealership with the cash. And they're like, we don't have that in this bank. And, if you were going to withdraw that, you need to let us know a week in advance. A lot of branches don't have a lot of cash. I think they have maybe 10, 20K. It's that. So once again, we're going to get into the mindset of money, changing money, becoming successful, doing things that you need to do to too much too quick. Yeah, because once again, this is a journey. Making money is a journey. And if you're a completely unskilled person, one of the things that's going to happen is you got to go through the process of gaining these skills, and then you got to go through the process of learning these skills. They make you order the money. Pretty much, T Will. It was only 75,000. Black Caesar. I can't wait until I start balling out to Uncle G. I'm just gonna be moving like this cat in the movie Baller Room, with the exception of not going to jail. One of the things that most people don't understand is a lot of people don't have faith in themselves. And I know what that feels like because at one point I didn't have faith in myself. I was really down on myself. And then this is why you go out and get education, feel, and the power of the subconscious mind. Those were my educational tombs that changed my mental. And once my mental changed, my whole life changed. I was able to do so much more, and I was always able to do it, but I didn't think that I could do it. If you want to start a business that requires you to be physically office hours, how would you combine that with a job? Work part-time? Hire somebody. What means that you won't be making any money because the money will be going to the employee until you scale to the point where you get enough employees that you get paid. I know of a couple who did a cleaning business. She was the leasing agent to my apartment complex, the last one I lived in, and she and her husband started cleaners, and they hired people. And then one day she was like, "I'm quitting," because their cleaners was taking off. Is there a way I can post my recent payments? Plastic. Look up plastic with a Q. Remember to ball out on your passive income. That's something that Grant Cardone preaches. Because one of the things that I want you guys to understand is it's a process and it can be done. The reason I'm doing the prep course is to give people the tools and strategies and the techniques that you need to start before you start a business. And no one talks about this because everyone is under this false assumption that because Jody in Iowa started an online business and she killed it, but Jody had already run a business. I mean, one of the things that I look at is the rest of the story. There used to be this radio host called Paul Harvey, and he used to do this thing, and that's the rest of the story. You got people out here who are so close to success. They're like that close. And they'll take an online course that will fill in those gaps and they become amazingly successful. Then you have somebody who's this far from success, they take the same course and they fail. And no one talks about this because when I was listed this, like people were, I mean, it took me a few years to go from 0 to 6 figures. And you got guys here on the internet just like, hey, your name's Ed. Ed, I can make you a 6-figure earner in 30 days. And people are desperate and they go for that. No, automation is not passive income. What do you mean? The Six Sigma technique? One of the things that you guys have got to understand is all of this is a process. And if you're brand new to these concepts and no one's ever dropped them on you, I want you to think about it's a learning curve that I don't know what they're talking about. Never heard of the legitimate technique. If you're not new to these concepts, like take ClickFunnels. I've been messing around with ClickFunnels, and it is it's got a learning curve, and I was getting a headache and stuff. And then once I got it, and there's this period where we as Americans don't think that things should be hard. And this is a vast difference between our grandparents who thought things would be hard and they were willing to put in the work. Because a lot of people will just bail out at the first sign of hardship. And that's just not the way to go. All right, so just to let you guys go ahead to heavywallet.org and get in the prep course. And I will see you guys later.